I was in a really weird.
ねえケイチくん、明日はさ、何か予定とかあるかな
No? Wait. No matter what the day I held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretch off into the distance. Hey, Jake, dude. Tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Why are you just repeating things? Rena, why do you like repeating things? Okay. Alright. Forgot that there's actually voice acting in this, so I can turn that off, right? I need to make this as terrible as possible. Voice fine. There we go. Huh? It was such a direct question from Rena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Rena saw me lost for words and realized that I misunderstood and turned red as well. No, I didn't mean it like that, you see. So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rena's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh really? So it wasn't meant that way? Huh? Huh? Why does she do that? She just repeats things. Rena, please. Okay. Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection. Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Why? Misha, what? Okay, I'm not doing the. God, I can't. Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see. Saltgeezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Huh? Huh? But what? What is it? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach while Reno flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rena's hair. Kidding. Sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. I'm not saying it, but okay. Huh? Huh? A joke? Since when? Since when? About halfway through? Halfway? So, okay, Sean, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start. Huh? That means... It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable... Mion just delectable. See how it is. There was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see, saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Rena? Huh? Oh, what were we talking about? It had been so long that Rena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't know if I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school. Yes. So, you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Michan and I could escort you to Hinamizawa and show you around. That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn, so that's to not give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front. He just calls himself a scamp. I swear to God. Peach, you're not free, perhaps? Perhaps? Mian and I had a rather sour back and forth. Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologize. I'm free. Great! The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Reina, isn't there? It seems Mio didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Reina. But her being annoyed was very interesting, so I pushed Reina forward, speeding up her pace to leave Mio behind. Let's go, Reina. Maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mio behind. Huh? Well, if Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi-Maibara. It'd be great if the two of us could go on a picnic together, so should we bring a basket right now? If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe? Maybe? Don't you ignore me too, Reina! I'll put out a village-wide circular saying you two disappeared into the hotel district together. And then Reina just punches her. Jesus Christ. Just throwing hands everywhere. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Wow, it's gonna be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun and me-chan. Bye. Reina bounced off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mio and sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've been sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Maybe it beats you if you stop saying stuff that makes Reina want to hit you. How do they say Reina? I'm just constantly fucking up her name. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. I mean, it kinda already is. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Probably. Maybe sometime we'll see her debut at an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Reina. You need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should... This old geezer would root for you. Mia and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Reina's infallible technique. Tips? Oh, is this extra? This is all new stuff? Okay. So we're the same age. Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal too. Okay, now it would be weird if we were the same age but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Yeah, you're pretty smart. What month were you born, by the way, Keiichi? I'm July. Reina smirked and popped up with pride. Hey, now what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday's a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind you if you bet $1 per month. Huh? Huh? Why? Why? Reina panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have enough much allowance left this month. Just sending her into a panic with something as simple as birthday is so fun, I can't help myself. Okay, Keiichi. God damn. So that means you were born in April, Keiichi? Right on. Too bad, Reina. I'm already far older than Reina. Oh, I see. And then you're the same age as me, Chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. You know, that's not something to get all high and mighty about, as if I'm one to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Reina's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? H-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Reina. Reina, stop. I need to get the horny bat. I need to get the horny bat for Reina. My god. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. Ah, stop it! I wondered about it before. Yeah, I was wondering why this school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. A schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital, and head towards the pediatrics department? What? So far. I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it's pretty far from Reina's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo-schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true. Mi-chan, if you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right, I totally agree with Reina on this one. Sure. Yes, that's right, stop repeating things. I'm gonna become zero at this rate. Stop fucking repeating things. Let's try our best. All of you, try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off Kei-chan as he works forever. What do you mean by mooch off Kei-chan? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. Teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely her fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It is just as Mion says, this school has nothing to do with higher education. And it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. It's only June, but it's already so hot. Hear the Higurashi outside chirping me, and at night the mosquitoes. Might as well be summer already. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare. Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she still was a girl. Keiichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during this season and how steamy the crotch gets. Stop. Stop. No, Rada, stop. I'm not reading that line. This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Reina's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Reina's. I don't know why I'm giving her like a faux British accent. She just kind of feels like that kind of person. you know. But Sasuke-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being a one piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. Star emoji. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. I had a feeling that Reina and Satoko's face values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it does. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. I have quite a few students in regular clothes. There are a few wearing uniforms, but they're all the same design and rather plain. So the uniform they're all wearing, they're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't they? Do you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Why, yes, Mion-san supplied them. Michan's relative runs a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. Should you ask those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms, then? That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. You've said this 3 times. What's the point in stocking your clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like that shop makes much money. They probably have me on pitching and helps so they can make a bit more. But Yon-san says it'll be a big hit, make him a great store with such conviction. A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. I get it. I think I'm gonna turn on the voice acting so I don't completely die trying to read all this. Just keep it a little smaller, because Reina's voice annoys the shit out of me. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. And to top it off, that pesky mom of mine pushed a return journey errand on me just as I'm trying to leave the house. Today was the Reina and meal who showed me around Hinamizawa. Reina and Mia were already waiting at the meeting place.
悪い悪い責めるのは夕べの面白かった特番に行ってくれ
ほう女の子との待ち合わせに遅刻して言い訳がそれってわけ
兄ちゃんだって今来たばかりなんだよ
夕べの密着24時間面白かったしねえ
He was just as guilty as me. Reina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Reina really did make a picnic.
ケイちゃんあの後レナ大張り切りだったらしいよ
別に俺がけしかけたわけじゃないだろう
そんな大変じゃなかったから気にしないでよね
夕べから今朝まであのテンションらしいよ責任取れんの
わかった俺も男だ責任は取る
責任ってなんだろう
As we both turned around slowly to look at Reina, her gazes shifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Reina we were talking about here.
2キロくらいかな
Reina, Jesus Christ. I don't think 3 people can eat 2 kilos.
よっこらしょって言ってた。5キロ。
5.
それはオーバー。ケイチ君男の子だからきっといっぱい食べるだろうと思ってたくさんね。もう行こう。よっこらよっこ。
Especially the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunch boxes.
訂正。俺も5キロ。
Yeah.
手伝いはするけど、全部食べるんだからね。レナを悲しませたら許さないよ。
The only thing I could do with that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungry. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began a leisurely stroll, a carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't even imagine something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. Just wholesome. I mean, I guess. These were the boonies, after all. Just slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. And it really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around.
あ、こんにちは。
こんにちは。あら、そちらは。確か前原くんだったかしら。
Our two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name.
なんで俺ってこんなに有名人なんだ。
We passed 3 people. When all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid.
悲しいかな。ひなみ沢は人が少ないからね。みんな顔見知りなんだよね。
つまりなんだ。知らない顔が歩いてれば、それは自動的に新しく引っ越してきた前原さんってことになるわけか。
うん、そういうことになるね。
It was a process of elimination you can only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can't expect all the villagers labeling me as a ledge by the next day. Namizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare.
もちろんわかるよ。最初に会ったのが薪の林店の竹蔵おじさん。趣味は盆栽と尺八なんだよ。
次が乾物屋の次男の大輔君。趣味は狙撃で、将来の夢は超永久スナイパーだとか。それで今の人は入江診療所の看護師の美代さん。趣味は野鳥の観察と撮影だって。
すれ違った全員の名前までわかるのかよ。プロフィールまで。
Being my surprise, Mion and Reina exchanged glances and burst into laughter.
はあね。ここいらは都会みたいにご近所付き合いが希薄じゃないからね。
試しに聞いてみよう。今ここにいる俺は誰だ。
前原圭一くん。意地悪なこと言うけど本当は優しいテレ屋さん。
転校してきてようやく3週間。趣味は昼寝。最近トランクス派に転校。
Mion, I swear to God.
したよね。
もういいもういい。
トランクス。
Oh my God. Reina, don't tell me you have a fetish for that.
それもいい。
Apparently there is absolutely nothing you can keep hitting here. Mizawa was not a place to be trifled with.
これじゃあさ、俺のための案内ってより、俺のお披露目みたいだな。
そ そうだね。うちらさ、これだけ賑やかに練り歩いてたからね。みんな思うんじゃない？ケイちゃんもひなみ沢に馴染んでくれたんだって。
ひなみ沢は過疎だから村中みんなが新しい仲間を歓迎してくれてるの。
I thought about brushing it off at something to the effect of "You're kidding me," but I held back. Have you ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way.
あら、こんにちは。仲良しそうでいいわね。
藤島さんちのおばさんだよ。こんにちは。
あら、前原くん、両手に花でいいわね。どう？生活はもう慣れた？
Instead of regurgitating the prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was.
グッド。
As I looked back over to Reina and Mia, they gave me a wink.
でね、そろそろお昼にしないかな。
Reina's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mia and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each
俺
other.
も男だ。努力はする。だが量が多すぎる。
よし、ケイちゃん。ここはおじさんに任せなさい。
Mia does never seem as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative.
レナ、どうせ食べるならさ、見晴らしのいいところで食べない？
それいい。賛成。
Reina nodded her head happily in response to Mia's proposal. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit throughout the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
ここはね、古出神社っていうの。多分見晴らしが一番いいところかな。
ここの場所、よく覚えといてね。もうすぐここでお祭りがあるんだから。
へえ、祭りにしちゃちょっと早いシーズンだよな。
綿流しは夏祭りじゃなくてね、昔は冬の終わりを喜ぶお祭りだったらしいよ。
I was embarrassed for assuming that festival was to be held in the summer.
さて、弁当を広げてっと。
Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of a plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Reina's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mia, it'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you
こ
know?
んにちはです。
It was Rika-chan and Sadako. Why are they here? Mia grinned at me, over at me. I see, this was their secret plan. The powerful numbers. You definitely thinks, Mia. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
騒がしいから来てみれば、これは何ですの？
見りゃわかるだろ。これからランチタイムだ。ビュッフェスタイルだ。レナの手作り弁当に舌鼓だ。
そんなの見ればわかるでございますわ。どうして人様の庭で小座なんか広げてますの？
神社は公共の場所だぞ。勝手に独占するな。
圭一の言う通りですよ。みんなのお庭にしますです。
くー、やっぱりリカちゃんはいい子だな。座りな、そこ。一緒に食べよう。
For opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my Ichi, I swear to God.
ちょっとお待ちなさいな。私はどこに座ればいいんですの？
お前に座る場所はないし、食べる分もない。
大丈夫だよ。さとこちゃんの分もちゃんとあるから。
ない。さとこの分も俺がいただく。
そんなことは許せませんの。リカ。はい、お箸です。
Both Satoko and I lifted the boxes, having it out with each other. You know, it's really funny seeing Keiichi just fight with an elementary school kid.
いやはや、ケイちゃん乗せるのうまいわ、ほんと。才能あるのかもしれない。
はい、お皿。みーちゃんもリカちゃんも。
Yeah, with pairs of chopsticks and paper plates.
僕たちも頑張らないとなくなってしまうです。
そうだね。よし、参戦と行くかな。
いっぱい食べてね。ちゃんとみんなの分あるから。
Reina said as she opened up the thermos. Just then, I realized that this was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication was different.
そのハンバーグは私
I will not allow you to have this thing. Why does he look like that?
Yeah, 肘は反則だろう、サトコ。
襟首をつかむのも反則でございます。
It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow. The opening moves Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand.
最後のミートボール。
包丁サトコ、破れたり。
Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan had to clear it, though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Reina blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Reina to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how debates usually go. I do everything in my power, just so things would stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small
日本
sigh.
語ってやつはさ、どうしてこう味に対する賛辞が少ないんだろうな。
食事中の団らんって考えがそもそも近代に入ってからだからじゃない？
昔の人は無言で食事を済ませたそうだし、作る人もちょっぴり寂しかったろうね。きっと昔の人は食べるのに忙しくて味を褒める暇もなかったのですわ。
That's just you.
でもね、美味しいの一言だけでも嬉しいよ。苦労の甲斐があったかなって。
She blushed a little as she said that.
美味しいです。
With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Reina directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Oh no.
Huh?
After Reina uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her with an audible poof.
リカちゃん、お持ち帰りじゃなくて、ありがとう。本当に美味しかったですよ。
Reina flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard it could almost hear it.
リカちゃんには褒めてもらったお礼に、じゃーん、これをサービスね。
2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way.
なんだよサトコ、その挑戦的な目は。
皆さんにはレナさんのリンゴを獲得できるだけの賛辞が用意できまして。
強気じゃんよ。ボキャ品のあんたにどんな賛辞が思いつくっての？
では、ご覧あそばせ。
After Satoko flashed me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
あのね、 のお弁当さとこも美味しかったよ。
Satoko looked up at her proudly while talking cutesy. What? How is that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Reina limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Reina. Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Reina glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her.
かいさとこちゃんもかいよ。お持ち帰り。
Swish, stab, push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Reina. That's unfair. To think she had such a trick.
悔しければレナさんにご褒美がもらえるような30を考え遊ばせ。
Damn it. That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise.
さとこ、それで勝てたつもりとはね。あんたらの底の浅い技とはわけが違うものを見せてあげようじゃない。
それは頼もしいぜミオ。それはどんな技なんだ。
やるのはケイちゃん。
見せてもらおうではございませんか。戸島のあがきを。
The plan of attack she suggested was wicked. It was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly.
本当に美味しいよな。これってさ、全部手作りなのかい？
実はね、これほとんど冷凍物なの。
じゃあ、レナの手作りのってどれだい？
その恥ずかしいな。教えなきゃダメ？どうしても？
From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into you. I'm gonna cry. Reina, just like me, she has such low standards.
わかるよ。これでしょ。
Reina turned an even deeper shade of red. The words "I can't believe it" practically written in her face.
なんでわかるかな？レナの手作り。
Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. For acting like I was shy, I waited a bit. Next would be the finisher.
レナの匂いがしたから。
Look at me. Oh my god. Keiichi, I swear to god. Silence enveloped the area. Reina, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too.
レナの手作りのリンゴのウサギさんが食べたいな。なんて。
Even if this was all because I was competing in Satoko, I felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
食べてね、ケイチ君。いっぱいあるんだよね。
Well, instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over.
して、ケイチ君。
「 My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth while she was squealing. One apple and another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. How about the apples? It's like, we...
ケイちゃん、殉職見事なり。どうよ、さとこ。うちらの完全勝利だね。
こんな手信じられないですの。悔しくないもん。
Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Reina stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
猫ちゃん、食べないの？塩水強すぎたかな？
Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do.
うさぎさんがかわいそうです。助けてあげてほしいです。
Why was there blood splatter? That was the sound of blood splitting from Reina's nose.
かわいいよ。今夜こそ絶対本持ち帰り。
She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples from me, gathered them up with flip, and fixed them back up on the plate.
これでみんな寂しくないよね。これリカちゃんにあげる。ね。
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbit shoved to her. She whispered,
僕たちが勝ちましたです。
Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day did come quick.
じゃあね、レナにケイちゃん。また明日ね。
ミオ、今日はありがとな。楽しかったぜ。
また明日ね。
Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Leon, and it ended with just Reina and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
ケイキくんも今日は付き合ってくれてありがとう。楽しかった？
ああ、楽しかった。まだ家に帰るのが惜しいくらいだぜ。
じゃあさ、ちょっとだけ寄り道してもいいかな？
寄り道？遠いのか？
ちょっと歩くけどすぐ済むから。
As we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Reina, I quietly nodded. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came to view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably legal dumping. I recalled it being a newspaper.
今日は久しぶりだから何かあるかな？何かあるかな？
久しぶりって、レナのようはあのゴミの山かよ。
ゴミじゃないよ。レナにとっては宝の山だもん。
Reina had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers, so that meant there was something cute here.
わあ、新しい山だ。ワクワクワクワク。
She descended the unstable slope of these. I'd expect no less from a born-and-bred
お
country
い
girl.
待てよ、今行くから。あったたたた。
My city race up was completely pitiful.
いいよ、ケイチ君はそこにいて。すぐ済むから。
Reina kindly declined my help.
転ぶなよ。足元に気をつけろよ。
大丈夫だよ、大丈夫。全然平気。
Literally bounding among the heaps of trash, Reina disappeared from sight. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Reina around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit. But something about him seemed unreliable. He had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case.
おっと、びっくりした。
Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line.
驚いたのはこっちですよ。
ごめんごめん。驚かすつもりはなかったんだ。君はひなみ沢の人かい？
I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious gaze, he introduced himself without my prompting.
僕は富武。フリーのカメラマンさ。ひなみ沢にはたまに来るんだ。
I didn't ask who you were.
写真ってのは被写体に断ってから撮るのが礼儀なんじゃないんですかね。
ごめんごめん。メインは野鳥の撮影でね。断った試しがないんだよ。
So, what, you're saying I'm the same as the birds?
いやいや、夕闇に黄昏る少年があまりにも絵になっていたんでね。本人の許可を取らずにファインダーを覗いたことを謝るよ。
Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt like startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Reina would be back soon. This older guy, Tomitake's son, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on with himself.
待たせてごめんね。もう終わりにするから。
Reina popped her head out from the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand.
連れがいたのかい？お、彼女はあんなところで何をしているんだい？
That's what I wanted to know.
さあね、昔起こった殺人事件の死体でも探してるんじゃないですか。
Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh, I responded like I would if I were talking with Reina and the others.
嫌な事件だったね。まだ見つかってないんだろ？
ケイチ君お待たせ。もっとこの
馬に蹴られる前に退散するかな。驚かせてすまなかったね、ケイイチ君。
Luck is up for this photographer. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight, missing a chance for a retort coming off of it.
ケイチ君怒ってる？どうしてだろう？
It wasn't Reina's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now.
どうだった？掘り出し物は見つかったか？
聞いて聞いて。あのね、あったの。ランディ君人形。
ランディ君人形ってあれか？ファーストフードの店の前に必ず置いてあるあの等身大の
Randy. The Jimmy Curl Sanders. I'm gonna cry.
そう、ランディ君。かわいい。お持ち帰りしたい。
I couldn't tell how she decides if it's cute or not, but well, she wants that. Seems to want it.
お持ち帰りしたきゃしてもいいんだぜ。
他の山の下敷きになってるの。簡単には掘り出せないし、あそこ明かりがないからすぐ暗くなっちゃうし。
Reina seemed quite down about finding the treasure and not being able to bring it
俺
back.
も手伝ってやるよ。今日のうまかった弁当の恩返しってことでさ。
あ
workers heading out their roofs proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us.
ケイチくんが手伝ってくれる。ナディくんをお持ち帰りできる。
Raina staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. Tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her true
なあ
state.
レナ、あそこで昔なんかあったのか？
ダムの工事をやってたんだってね。詳しく知らないけど。
例えばさ、工事中になんかあったとか、事故とか。
知らない。
Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. Okay. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Raina quickly lightened her expression.
実はね、去年までよそに住んでたの。
え、レナも転校生だったのか？俺はてっきり。
だからね、それ以前のことはよく知らないの。ごめんね。
I don't really know. Don't want to talk. Don't really know. Don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course, it would just be like that. This wasn't the type of things girls would like enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident they still haven't found one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitake-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Like, was that guy just fucking with him? There's a newspaper. Okay, if you want the new tips, I need to see what's up with this. The Mybara Manor.
ケイちゃんってさ、すごいお金持ちってわけでもないの？
なんだよ突然。俺がいつ高級車で投稿したよ。
月の小遣いはいくらもらってる
？1000円。
あら、結構小市民的ですのね。お弁当のおかずも普通ですよ。お金持ちじゃないです。
Talking about being asked out of nowhere how much I get and then told that's a premium amount.
ごめんね、ごめんね。
Miranda seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling.
ケイちゃんちってさ、すっごく大きいでしょ？だから建築中からひなみ沢中で前原屋敷って呼ばれて注目の的だったんだよ。
Mybara Manor.
あんなに大きいお家だからどんなお金持ちなのかなってみんなで噂し合ってたの。
I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge, and I see how it could cost in this standings.
私の推理ではお家を建てるのにお金をかけすぎて貧乏になってしまったと考えてますのよ。貧乏でかわいそうかわいそうです。
Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar.
諸君らの楽しい想像をぶち壊すようで悪いが、うちは金持ちでも貧乏でもないぞ。極めて平均的な。
あれだけ大きな家は普通とは言わないって。しかも玄関は立派で門は大型車も入れるようになってるし、絶対普通じゃないって。
They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio's in it, too. There are a bunch of different workshops, and lots of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge, too. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people in the cars can come in to see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway that Mion is talking about is the one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway the Mybara family actually uses is a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside.
ぜひ今度ケイちゃんの家を探検してみたいよな。お金持ちじゃないと主張しながらもあの邸宅。一体何が隠されているのか。
Bodies. Dead bodies.
いいものが隠されてるといいな。きっと家具を買うお金もなくなってて殺風景な部屋がいっぱいなのですわ。 絨毯のお部屋ならぜひゴロゴロしてみたいですよ。わあ、それいいね、それいいね。レナもゴロゴロしたい。
Seems like our imaginations are just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad, this will suck for the ladies, I might even look them up studio. Alright, they could drop crescendo as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear, smelling like the beginning of summer. Oh, so it's real. From the June 20th, June something of 1979. The Shishibone City Okinomiya Police Station, June XX. Late at night. Suspects blanked out were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of corpse. When offender blanked out has been added to wanted lists nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the blank at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer blank as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the XF day at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. Blank. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of the corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is reported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. Okay.
ランディ君人形？ああ、そりゃレナのツボだわな。
レナがサトコやリカちゃんをお持ち帰りしたくなるのはわかる。だがランディ君人形だけは理解できないぞ。あんなメガネ親父のどこがいいんだ。
そりゃあレナに直接聞けばいいじゃん。どうせだって可愛いんだもんしか言わないだろうけどさ。
レナはよくあそこ工事現場のとこへ宝探しに行くのか？
ちょくちょく見に行くって言ってましたです。
しかし年頃の女の子がゴミあさりね。
レナが楽しいならいいんだと思いますです。
あそこはなんだよ。ダムの工事現場だったのか
It has been bugging me since yesterday, like a hitchhiking branch.
何年か前に中止になっちゃったけどね。
みんなで力を合わせて戦いましたです。
Hearing an ominous word like fought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled.
そうそう。何しろとんでもない話だったんだよ。ひなみ沢が丸ごとダム湖に沈むことに一方的になってさ。
So I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded.
ごめんねごめんね。待たせちゃったかな。申し訳ありませんわねケイチさん。お化粧直しに時間をかけちゃいまして。
サトコ、便所には溜めてから行け。一気に出せて楽で早いぞ。
花も恥じらう乙女になんて口の利き方。
What was she calling me? Sakura really wasn't made and she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued.
さてと、今日は快速に乗っ取り部員の諸君に是非を問いたい。彼前原圭一君を新たな部員として我らの部活動に加えたいのだがいかがだろうか。
レナは意義なし。 勢が私の相手を務められるかしら。僕もさとこも賛成しますですよ。
With read that Mion had queried, voiced their approval.
全会一致。おめでとう、前原圭一君。君に栄えある我が部への入部試験を許可する。
順を追って説明しろ。俺はまだ入るとは言ってないぞ。何の部活だ？
我が部はだな。複雑化する社会に対応するため、活動ごとに提案される様々な条件か。
Okay, wait. I had stopped because I needed to not speak that much. It's been like a chapter and a half. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to try the really shitty 12-year-old girl interpretation here. Let me let me see how this goes. Sometimes they are in your favor, and sometimes they work against you. I'm pretty weak, so I'd prefer if you didn't single me out. Let's try to get along. You're so naive, Reina. The law of the jungle is survival of the fittest. This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club was it? To sum it up, it's a club where we play games together. Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So basically, this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use by playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day. It seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place. I'll make this clear right now. We aren't playing house here. You should treat each win or loss as if your life depends on it, alright? What's wrong with just having fun? Don't make it sound so crazy. The first rule of our society: aim only for first place. Going at it half-assed just because it's a game is not allowed. Rule number 2 of our society: for that reason, you are obligated to make all possible efforts. The way Satoko said it, it sounded like she was saying use any means necessary. Of course, I will do my best too. I'm pretty weak, but I'm trying my best. I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun. Alright, then I too will go all out. With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club. A word of warning, Kei-chan. Reina can get pretty nasty. This initiation looks like it's gonna be rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school? Well, it's club equipment, so I guess that's fine. Complicated games would put Kei-chan at a disadvantage. Today, we'll play a game that you should be familiar with. How about a standard card game, like Old Bachelor? Alright, let's do this. Can't really get into it unless there's a penalty. This time the loser will be sentenced to having their face drawn on. What do you think? Whoa, it won't be a permanent marker, right? Wait. Permanent. She wants to draw on her faces with a permanent marker. That is perfect! Satoko cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. It seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, I can't lose either. Then I'll just cut the deck and start dealing. Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid. There's only one difference: there's no Joker. In its place, one card is pulled out at the start, meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game. I'll take out the card now. Mion took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everybody stared at the card intently. Well, it'll be pretty obvious at the endgame. No way to tell at the start. But the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't be. This deck is pretty worn out. No way. Can anyone tell by the scratches what the card on the table is? Remember the second rule of our society. Keiichi-san must try his hardest to win as well. The number of cards are quite unique. Keiichi-kun should be able to remember them pretty quickly. She said that so matter-of-factly. suits me fine. Don't think a little thing like that can be a crutch. I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they'd gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. If this was a test, then they were playing with the answer sheet in front of them. Bring it. I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. That baseless confidence would soon be crushed. How about I tell you your hand starting from the right? 3, 4, 9, Jack, Queen. What? By the way, the Bachelor is the Jack of Diamonds. I can tell what they are even if you switch them around. I am out. Thought I was prepared for it to be this brutal, just overwhelming. Demons. They're all demons. Reyna isn't a demon, are you? Sorry, Cage-kun. This is the 3 of Hearts, isn't it? I'm out. What? Look, my normal laugh is pretty close to the so, not even a hint of mercy. Reyna, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. Our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a deathmatch on a deserted island. These guys would probably take to it like fish in the water. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. This is very weirdly specific. It's a lowest point system. The order itself dictates the points. Whoever has the lowest point total wins. Since Keiichi finished last, he has 5 points. There's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard. I think it's unfair to Keiichi-kun if you don't use a new deck. It's fine, it's fine. Kei-chan is a man after all. He can turn the tables even if the odds are stacked against him, right? It's fitting for a lowly peasant to scamper home and soak their pillows in tears, don't you think? Petite hand laid itself on top of my head, which was trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's. Keep on fighting, yeah? Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm it. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. Music. I'm dying. That's the palate that could muster during this crisis. They cleared the cage in my room. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Reyna said, several of the cards have their own distinct markings and making them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory. Wow, great Keiichi-kun, just like that! I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen. The one with the ripped corner should be the 5, and I'm out. I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Satoko fanned out the cards for me. You see, I want the 7. Is it this one? I wonder about that. You won't know unless you take it. There was a bit of dismay in her expression, like she doesn't want it taken. That kind of expression. I won't let that momentary lapse slip me by. I know. It's this one. Got it. 7 of spades. A chair of Ranga. Ooh, what is this? The 7 should be the hardest one of all to tell apart. It wasn't for memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expressions, instead of selecting a card were enough. Can't hide it from me, Kei-chan. This mark means it's the 2 of diamonds. What? She was startled by her own misread. Of course everyone else was too. Whoa, it's rare that Mi-chan gets a card wrong. No. Kei-chan, could it be you? They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch, so I put a new one on it. Are you saying he disguised it? It's the 2 of diamonds? What an impressive show of wit. Keiichi landed a clean hit. Clap, clap, clap. That's great, Keiichi-kun. That was an incredible match, you know? Having defeated the Forerunner, Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves. Well, I'm going to end up the loser, but I'm satisfied with one-upping Mion at the end. Star emoji. I have a feeling that, like, Reina's gonna try and murder Keiichi, and then Keiichi's gonna, like, retaliate. Which, like, goes back to the bat scene at the beginning. I can't even tell who it was, so I'm just, like, randomly pulling guesses out of my ass, but, you know. What? And that should be the proverbial slap in the face of Mion, who was at the top already and ensured victory. Even if Kei-chan gets first place this round, he'll still end up last place overall. Don't you hate that? Of course I do. Let's have a duel. One chance. If you win, then we'll swap first and last place. How about you up for it? She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it. One chance, you say? Let me hear the rules. Mio discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back. Card in my right or the card in my left? If Kei-chan can guess which hand the Joker's in, then he wins. You turned around just now, you didn't pull out the Joker, did you? If you lose, I'll show the card in the other hand. That okay? The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events. Alright, you've got it. Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right had no distinguishing marks, I couldn't tell which one it was. Which one, I wonder? Keiichi-kun, be careful! Yeah, of course, this is my chance for a big comeback. Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't one I hadn't seen before. Ah! That card is... I didn't let that bit from Satoko slip by me. Mion clucked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Satoko's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant that it definitely wasn't the Joker. Ooh, Kei-chan thinks it's the one on the right. Will you choose that one then? Will you? The left card definitely was the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I should have been able to declare that the card to the right was the Joker. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was the most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Satoko's reaction? More carefully. Ah, I remember now. That mark, the left card, no doubt about it, the 7 of clubs. It's the 7 of clubs, I see. I've won! The card on the left was the 7 of clubs, so that meant the card on the right was the Joker. And then, just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. I would expect no less from you. There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden halt, right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker. Huh? What could Keiichi-san possibly be saying? I mean, the left one is... Shh! Ooh, what makes you so certain that the right one isn't the Joker, Kei-chan? Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled. I don't know what the card on the right could be, but I know that the one on the left is the 7 of clubs. Then, doesn't that leave the right one as the Joker? One of them has to be the Joker, right? Yeah, one of those is the Joker, right? Keiichi has good intuition. Huh? Eureka-chan, what do you mean by it? So basically, the 7 of clubs, I discarded that by matching it with Satoko's 7 of spades earlier. Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile. So that means Mion pocketed one of the discarded cards, then aligned it over the left card, and that means... I see, I get it. His left card is being disguised as the 7 of clubs, right? It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression, and I didn't let that slip by. Then, with a grand flourish, I declared it loudly. The Joker is the left one. It was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion. Being the first president of this club, I've been witness to a variety of performances. Kei-chan, yours is the best. The best of the best of the best. That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the cards from both hands. Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory. Huh? Rika-chan's Reina and Satoko gaped at us as if they had seen a ghost. What is it, Reina? It's not as if I cheated or anything, right? This was fair and square. Rika only pets someone on the head to console them. Huh? What's the meaning of... At that moment, Reina let out a small shriek. Keiichi-kun, this is how it was? You know, Kei-chan, I thought you'd read into it that far. Everyone froze. No, it was just me. It was a gamble. If you had just jumped to conclusions like a little brat, then I would have lost. It was the answer everyone was certain about. Mion picked up the card from the losing hand. Kei-chan, you know, you should take pride in this loss. She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed the victor of this duel. The card under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable, it was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I just picked the right without reading so deeply into it. I, Mion Sonozaki, as the club president, do accept Keiichi Maibra's membership into our club. As I slumped to my knees, dazed, everyone let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat. The match is now over. Today's victor is me, Mion Sonozaki, and our exalted loser is Keiichi Maibra. Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing. When Mii-chan pulled that little trick behind her back, I got excited, thinking she's gonna do it again. When Keiichi-san stopped the moment before touching the correct card, I thought he fell for it. He fell for it quite handily. Huh? Hey, wait, all of them knew from the start and still got so excited so earnestly? One got excited to make it more fun. You're all... Oh god. Now then, Kei-chan, it's time for your penalty. Since it's your first day participating, I'll go easy, okay? It would be a problem if you refused to come to school. The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lip. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt tip marker, and it's a giant permanent one. Okay, here we go. She took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly up to my face while I was immobilized. No. No! I let out my death throes. Get fucked. My man got his ass handed to him. As soon as the club activities were finished, Reina flew off, probably so she could take out that cute Colonel Randy that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together, a rather rare occurrence. A mountain of treasure, huh? The guys throwing it away probably never thought in their wildest dreams that Reina would be so grateful to them. Mountain of treasure, meaning that damn construction site from before. Oh, right, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened there. Over there, you know, at that damn construction site? Did something happen there? Long ago? Something sure did. A grand battle. There were sit-ins and demonstrations. It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I'd listen just the same. It was our land that was going to be sunk to the dam reservoir. I would have fought as well, probably. The government guys were really adamant about it, acting all big and full of themselves. Since they figured out that they couldn't settle with money, they did a bunch of nasty stuff. They were nasty guys. Mion spoke excitedly, as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her. I'm amazed you guys won. You were facing the federal government, right? The mayor and prominent figures in the village all signed petitions. They went to Tokyo and struck deals with legislators, and as a result, the development plan was retracted. It was a complete victory. There wasn't any violence, was there? Like assaults or murders? None. She promptly cut me off. The same as Reina had. Oh, it's a conspiracy now. Her words signaled the end of discussion. Tomitake-san said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside. Later, see you tomorrow. Kate-chan, you can't wash that off until you get home. Got it? I got it, I won't. Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. Wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Damn you, Mion, you shall rue this day. If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to go all out, all over your face, so you won't be able to take it off even with a scouring pad. On arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Mom whispered in my ear, "Welcome home, Keiichi. Dad, he's in a bit of a rut right now, so don't bother him, okay? You can't come up with a new idea? It's because the deadlines are so close together this time. Dad needs time to recharge, or he doesn't work as well. Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the My Bros. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter? Would it be easier to get an idea taking a walk outside rather than wandering around the house? The theme of the piece this time is in the household, so it seems your dad wants to use this house as a motif. That's quite a bothersome motif. Keiichi, tidy your room for once in a while. It looks terrible. Sorry, I'll clean it up later. Come on, please don't use my room as a motif. Keiichi, there's still some time before dinner, so please go take a walk back or something. Dad's moods are only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further. Well, I guess I will then. I said I was going to go take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take about an hour by bike to get to town. It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Himamizawa would creep me out. If Mion or Satoko ever found out about that, I smelled rightly. Oh yeah, Reina was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the damn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Randy was probably taking her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one. She might return the favor next time when we have club activities. With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I'd set off towards the damn construction site. Tomitake-san might be there as well. The only person with information about the incident that both Reina and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. Was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. I spotted Reina struggling up on the slip of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Randy was lodged in there pretty firmly. It didn't look like Reina would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitake-san was around, I began climbing down the slope unsteadily. Hey, Reina, looks like you're working up a sweat. Whoa, Keiichi-kun. What brings you to a place like this? A place like this, huh? I see, she was aware of it at least. I received a signal for emergency assistance at the accident site. Where is the injured party? Huh? Accident? Huh? but there was a report Colonel Randy was buried alive in the trash pile. Huh? Oh, that. You scared me. Don't frighten me like that, Cage-kun. I was just kidding. I thought you might be struggling by yourself, so I came to help you out. Eh? You came for me? Aww. Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Reina blush at least once a day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake. I swear to God. Cagey, please. Just kidding. You're embarrassing me now. So, huh? What part was the joke? What part was it? I just ignored her bewilderment. Okay, move out of the way. So where is Colonel Randy? Sorry. Can't you see him in that gap? He's really buried in there. Colonel Randy was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials, like they were caging him inside. According to Reina, it wasn't like this yesterday. It seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this. You're trying to move this pile all by yourself? With those scrawny arms? There's no way she would be able to do that with her slender arms. But Colonel Randy, so cute! There's a chain on the Colonel Randy at the store. This one, though, I should be able to take this one home. Aw. If Reina gave up on this Colonel Randy, she'd probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. As Reina's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime. Out of the way, I'll do it. Reina blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If it got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done. Cage-kun, I'll help too. Let me help. You just get in the way, so stay back. Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside. I could begin covered in sweat dust. Flying objects, beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. One tipper plywood. Damn it. No matter how much I threw out, there was still more, even though I could see Colonel Randy right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Reina, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed. If I was going to do this seriously, I'd need an axe or saw or something. That's a Cage-kun. You're so slight. You don't have to try so hard. Just doing it for you, Reina. Don't worry about it. Reina began sputtering and tripping. No. Reina, stop. Stop. You can do so much better than this, dude. Oh, whoops. I meant to say I was trying my best just to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well. Guess I just need a break. This is pretty tough. I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope. I'm so sorry. You're covered in sweat. Reina patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice. Well, wait here a minute, okay? My house is pretty close. I'll bring you some barley tea, okay? Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Reina took off running. The cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Reina was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I discovered earlier. That was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. They were bound stacks of not so reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. It was just as Taki-san said, then undoubtedly there would be mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There is no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well, so it had to be recorded somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew it had happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Reina had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at a dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Reina and Mion said they didn't know, but if it had happened, without a doubt, as long as Tomitake-san was lying, that if both Reina and Mion... yeah, there was. If they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Reina nor Mion wished to talk about. To cover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. That made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching. Murder by dismemberment. Here it is. Featured article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph of the colored pages at the front. Pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Reina could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site, lynching and murder/dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily. With an explosive backlash from his daily actions, it's a horrible image to see the site foreman as it happened. It really did happen. It seemed the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. I thought it was... The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes, then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces: the head, arms, legs, and torso. I could understand from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. Normally a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes? That was not lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder done by a group of people with hatchets, pickaxes, hatchets. What? Sorry? Did I startle you? Did I startle you? Reina dropped the hatchet she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice. Kichiko, you see, earlier, yeah, you said it would help if you had an axe or something, didn't you? So then I brought a hatchet for you from the shed? Reina fluttered her arms in a panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed to have been glaring at her pretty intensely. I'm sorry, I guess my reaction was a bit overboard. No, I'm sorry as well. I'm sorry. Nate was drawing close. I was pretty worn out and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow. Doesn't look like we can break that last beam without that hatchet. You brought it after all. I'll have to borrow it tomorrow, alright? Okay. Why do you look so glum? Tomorrow we'll be taking out Colonel Randy, right? You're right. I really want to take Colonel Randy home soon. We both knew that it was useless to apologize anymore. Quenched my thirst for the barley tea Reina brought and wiped out the sweat that had now gone cold. We took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid written up and wrapped up in my jacket. One man's trash. October 1975, in accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin number... Okay, Hinamizawa's Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam was to have an incredibly heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The area is to be flooded by the Hinamizawa Dam. The area to be flooded by the Hinamizawa Dam would include 5 areas of Hinamizawa, Takatsudo, Kyosu, Matsumoto, and Yaguchi. The submerged area would include 291 houses, population 3,251, 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumberyard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worship were to be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land was just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together and created the Onigafuji Guardians. The dam project was halted, and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. Citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its public company openly refused. Performing unspeakable, heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. The continuation of that frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. The villagers understand that the stalling was caused by sublime power through unity, and they understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The Onikafuchi Guardians had been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it garnered have not yet been extinguished. As long as that passion resides in a part of this resonance, they'll be able to confront whomever next decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Onikafuchi Guardians Committee Chairman, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam, lynching and murder/dismemberments. On the day of the month in the prefecture at the Hinamizawa Dam construction work site in Shishibai City, a bone-chillingly gruesome murder/dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam? They probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return, and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned Investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody could have mistaken as alive. Hassan had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. At first it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and one even turned himself in to the police. It was the de facto leader of this group who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area, but the de facto leader feared that the consciences of the other 5 would be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. He devised the heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. That had turned a simple manslaughter into a gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Each one participated. But what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. Lulu had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound, was what it meant. Thus an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. Perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead, and he gave up in his objections. But the plan collapsed in the span of one night. Who had refused to dissect the corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle, and confessed. The criminals were arrested one after the other, but the de facto leader with the whereabouts are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that has said he was going to throw the body, right arm, into the swamp. The car was discovered abandoned near the swamp, but there were no clues to his whereabouts. Didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. Within the station, there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the swamp when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that swamp is believed to be bottomless. It's known as Onikafuchi, the demon's abyss. It's said that the bottom of the swamp is connected to the hellish world of demons. The atrocious demon from hell, that was... Could it be that he had returned to hell through the swamp? The Zijin Dragon, bringer of lucky fortune. Prosperous future, ladies leaping into your arms, business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with pachinko and horse races, but businesses and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Zijin Dragon Bracelet DX, one piece. 27,800 yen. Who the fuck Who would spend 27k yen on that? What? Okay, well, it's 9:30. I think I'm gonna keep on playing this tomorrow. Yep. Take that. Jesus fuck, there's a lot of save slots. Okay. So that was a really bad Higurashi live